You swipe your rewards card and figure the bank is paying you. It's a four-party deal, and only one of them is you. Here's who really pays. The average Visa or MasterCard credit card quietly charges the merchant about 2.35% of every swipe, and the total dollars are nearly triple what they were 10 years ago. The merchant doesn't eat that fee. It gets baked into the sticker price every customer pays. You've been funding your own rewards. It's Tuesday. You grab a coffee, tap your card, see the little animation, and feel smart. Points just landed. Free money. You beat the system today. Here's what nobody explains at the register. That swipe didn't just involve you and the bank. It moved through four parties at once. You, the bank that issued your card, the merchant, and the merchant's own bank, called the acquirer. A card network like Visa or MasterCard runs the pipes between them. Four parties, one transaction, one network. One of them wins big. The rest split what's left, and the one you think is paying the most is almost never the one actually paying. You assume the bank is handing you a reward, so the bank must be taking the loss. No, the bank is a wildly profitable business. They don't hand out points out of kindness. They hand them out because someone else is funding the giveaway, and that someone is closer to you than you want to believe. A recent national finance survey found that roughly 60% of US adults have at least one rewards credit card. That's not niche. That's the default. If nearly everyone has one, and nearly everyone thinks they're winning, then someone somewhere is losing. Quietly. Every day, in amounts that add up. But there's a catch. The bank is not paying you from its own pocket. And once you see where the money actually comes from, the word rewards starts to sound very different. Picture the tiny corner bakery that sold you that coffee. $5 price. Card tapped. You walk out feeling clever. That bakery didn't keep $5. They paid a fee the second the card hit the reader. In the industry, it's called Interchange. Every time a card is swiped, the merchant side pays the cardholder's bank a percentage of the sale. Your reward card charges the highest version of that fee. Regulated debit is cheap, capped by law at pennies. A plain credit card costs more. A premium rewards card is the most expensive plastic a small business can accept. Run the math on your own life. At around 2.35%, the merchants you touched paid roughly 2 cents on every dollar just to accept your card. A slice becomes the bank's margin. A smaller slice loops back to you as points. You were taught to call that slice your rewards. It's really a rebate of a tax you helped trigger on someone else. You think, fine, the merchants can afford it. Some can. The biggest ones cut side deals and handle it. Your corner bakery can't. They either eat it, raise prices, or stop accepting cards. Most raise prices. Here's the uncomfortable part. The main revenue source for general-purpose credit cards isn't swipe fees at all. It's interest paid by people carrying balances. Swipe fees feed the rewards engine. The interest from people who can't pay in full is where the real money sits. So if merchants pay the fee, why do they keep accepting cards? Look at the price tag next time you grocery shop. One number, same for everyone. Cash, debit, credit, premium rewards, credit. Same sticker. That's the trick. A handful of states ban credit card surcharges outright. Everywhere else, network rules cap. Surcharges at 3 to 4%, and forced disclosure. And most merchants skip the hassle because customers flinch at checkout the moment they see a line item for using their card. So merchants do the rational thing. They bake the average card fee into the posted price. Everyone pays the higher number. The card user gets a slice back as points. The cash user gets nothing. You figure the premium card people are paying the same inflated price, so it evens out. It doesn't. Premium cards collect bigger rewards. Basic cards collect less. Debit collects almost nothing. Cash takes the full hit with no kickback. But there's a catch. The merchant rarely charges you less for paying in cash. So the fee gets baked into the sticker price that everyone pays, including the people who never see a single point. That's a transfer, a quiet one, running every day, at every counter, in every city. The people least likely to qualify for a premium rewards card are paying the inflated price and getting none of the kickback. The people at the top of the income ladder are collecting the rebates. When you hear the phrase rewards economy, read it as a redistribution pipeline. It moves money up, not down. And the bank hasn't even gotten to the best part of its business yet. You set your card to autopay, full statement balance on the due date, and feel untouchable. You're what the industry politely calls a transactor. You pay in full. You pay no interest. You think you've beaten them. Here's the part that should wake you up. The bank doesn't care that you personally pay in full. The bank cares about the portfolio. Inside that book, they need two types: transactors like you, who generate swipe fees and spending volume, and revolvers, who carry balances and pay interest. The real profit is on the revolvers. A Federal Reserve household survey found that 46% of credit card owners carried a balance at least once during the prior 12 months. One medical bill, one layoff scare, one vacation that ran hot, one month where the autopay didn't clear because checking was short. You think that won't be you? For a meaningful share of cardholders, eventually, it is. The business plan doesn't need you specifically to slip. It needs a predictable slice of the crowd. But there's a catch. The business model does not need you to carry a balance. It just needs a predictable slice of people like you to slip once or twice a year. And bigger rewards make bigger spending, and bigger spending makes more slips. The reward isn't a gift, it's bait. Thrown at a school of fish, and the math only needs a small percent to bite. You might swim past it this year. What about next year when groceries are up and the raise didn't land? Think about the last big purchase you made and the card you reached for. Did you really hesitate? Or did the rewards math whisper that this one was basically free? A controlled study on payment behavior found that people will pay 22 to 54% more for identical items when using a card instead of cash. Same item, same store, same person, different payment method, bigger total. Now, layer rewards on top. Each swipe feels like it comes with a refund attached, a small one. But the feeling is way bigger than the size of the rebate. The brain registers the rebate as a win and quietly raises the acceptable spend ceiling on everything else. But there's a catch. Paying with a card makes you spend more on the same purchase than paying with cash, which means your real rebate rate is lower than the number printed on the card. Do the math. If you're spending 20% more than you would have with cash, you only come out ahead if the card is paying you more than 20% back before a single interest payment enters the picture. You didn't win anything. You paid a tip to the bank and called it a gift. That study has been sitting in an academic journal since 2015. Nobody at your bank is going to read it to you at the counter. That's the whole point of this channel, the stuff nobody's reading out loud. If that's what you came for, the subscribe button is right there. More of it is coming. You think that's just psychology talk? You're rational. Everyone who slipped into a bad financial habit thought they were rational. Marketing doesn't need you to be weak. It needs you to be human, tired, and standing in line at checkout. Here's the simple rule. Before you celebrate a rewards total, ask what the spend would have looked like without the card. If the card quietly inflated the spend by more than the reward rate, the card didn't pay you. You paid it. And the question gets bigger. What happens when the card also charges you to hold it? You're on the card's marketing page, scrolling through benefits, and it feels like a vault. Airport lounge access, travel insurance, statement credits, hotel status. A long, shiny list arranged like a prize shelf. Card database trackers show that the top premium rewards cards now charge annual fees ranging from $395 to nearly $900, with flagship cards like the Amex Platinum jumping to $895 and the Chase Sapphire Reserve moving up to $795 in 2025. Look at that list again. Most of it requires something: a specific travel booking, a specific merchant, an activation you have to remember, a portal you have to log into, a window of time you have to hit. The fee is due whether you use any of it or not. The benefits only pay if you jump through a hoop most people never get around to. But there's a catch. The annual fee is guaranteed, and the benefits are conditional, and the issuer makes its best money on the benefits you never actually use. Here's the filter. Take the annual fee, subtract only the benefits you will actually, honestly use in the next 12 months. Not the ones you might use, not the ones that would be cool to use, the ones you will use based on how you actually lived the past 12 months. If the remainder is below zero, the card is paying you. If it's above zero, you're paying the card for the privilege of holding it. You figure the sign-up bonus covers the fee in year 1, sometimes. But the question is year 2, and year 3, and year 5. The bonus doesn't repeat, the fee does. One more filter. If the card didn't have a sign-up bonus at all, would you still want it? If the answer is no, the card isn't paying you, the bonus is. A one-time bonus is a one-time event. A recurring fee is forever. You log into your rewards portal and see a fat number of points sitting there and think, nice little stash. That number feels like savings. It isn't. Points are a private currency. The issuer prints them. The issuer sets the redemption rate. The issuer can change that rate whenever it wants. They usually do it on a random Tuesday with an email you'll never open. Regulators found that every quarter, about 4% of account holders lose access to at least some of their earned rewards, and much of that value is never redeemed. That's called breakage. Your unused points quietly disappear. But there's a catch. Points are not money. Points are a private currency the issuer can devalue whenever it wants, and hoarding them is the worst thing you can do with them. Think about how you treat cash in a savings account. You expect it to hold its value next year at the same number. Points don't work that way. A point worth 2 cents this month can be worth 1 cent next month because a chart on a website changed. No vote, no notice, no refund. You think you're saving them for the big trip. The issuer adores that sentence. Every month you wait is another month closer to a devaluation that could slice your balance and hand the rest to the shareholders. Treat points like groceries. Perishable. Use them on a schedule. Redeem them when you can get real value today, not when you feel emotionally ready for the big trip. The honest valuation of a point is what you can cash it out for right now, not what the marketing page claims under perfect conditions. You'll probably never line up. If you've got a friend who talks about their points like it's a retirement account, this is the video you send them. No commentary needed, just the link. Let the script do the talking. That's all this section exists for. Picture 4 buckets of people stacked by how much they spend on cards in a year. Top bucket, heavy spenders, constant travel, premium cards, business expenses flowing through personal accounts. Bottom bucket, basic card, small balance, groceries and gas. A Federal Reserve working paper estimated an aggregate annual redistribution of about $15 billion from less educated, poorer, and higher minority areas to more educated, richer ones through card rewards. A narrow slice captures most of the prize, and everyone else funds that slice while thinking they're also winning. But there's a catch. This system was engineered for a narrow profile of spender, and if you are not that profile, you are not playing the game, you are funding it. Here's the diagnostic. Write down your real monthly card spend. Multiply by 12. Multiply that by the honest rebate rate of your card, not the sticker rate, the one after spending lift and breakage. Compare that to the annual fee you pay, and the sticker inflation you absorb at the register every day. If the final number is positive and large, you're in the top tier. If it's small, neutral, or negative, you're not the customer, you're the fuel. You think finance people use these cards, so they must be worth it. A small group of them, with very specific spending patterns, really do extract value. They're the cover story. Their redemption screenshots are the marketing. They exist to convince the rest to keep spending, so the pipeline keeps running. The game is real, it's just not for most people playing it. Once you see that, the honest question becomes, how do you stop funding a game you're not winning? Quick thing before I say this next part. None of this is financial advice. I'm showing you how the machine actually works, not writing a plan for your life. Think before you copy-paste any of it. Open your wallet tonight and count the cards in it. 2, 3, 4. Maybe a coffee shop card for the free drinks. Maybe an airline card from a trip you took 2 years ago and never used again. If the diagnostic didn't put you in the top tier, here's the honest move. 1 flat cashback card, no annual fee. Auto-pay the full statement balance. No category games, no quarterly activations, no spreadsheets, no point hoarding, no forum browsing. That's the whole strategy. You think that feels too simple, you'll lose money. You'll lose a small theoretical upside you were probably never capturing anyway. In return, you get 3 real things. No fee to claw back before you break even. No mental tax from tracking categories and portals. No emotional push to spend more just to hit tiers or bonuses. You think, but the sign-up bonuses. Sign-up bonuses require a spending threshold. Hitting that threshold usually means pulling forward purchases you would have made later, or making purchases you wouldn't have made at all. Both hurt the real math. A bonus isn't free if it comes with a spending requirement your wallet had to stretch to reach. Run one more number on yourself. Honestly estimate how much time you spent last year on cards, tracking spend, reading rewards blogs, chasing bonuses, transferring points between programs. Multiply that time by what your hour is actually worth in your day job. That's the real cost of the hobby. Compare it to the rewards you actually redeemed. In most cases, the simple cashback card would have won on time alone, before we even talk about fees. The boring card wins for most people. That's not a downgrade. That's a refusal to subsidize someone else's points. Pick up your card one more time tonight and look at it differently. Not as a reward engine, not as a game piece, as a question. The question you were trained to ask is, how do I maximize my points? Wrong question. That question keeps you spending. That question keeps you loyal. That question keeps you inside the machine long enough for the slip to eventually happen. The real question is simple. In any program that pays you to participate, who is funding the payment? If you can't answer that cleanly, you don't understand the program, and the program almost certainly doesn't have your interests at heart. It has the funder's interests. And there's a good chance that funder is, in some roundabout way, you. Credit card rewards were the example. The filter is portable. Loyalty programs, cashback apps, airline miles from bank deals, hotel status matches, grocery store clubs, stock trading rebates, anything that dangles a bonus in exchange for behavior. Run the question, who pays me and who pays for me? You think this is too cynical? Someone has to be winning. Someone is. A small, specific someone. You might be that someone. Usually you're not. Knowing the difference is the entire skill. The card in your hand isn't evil. The system around it isn't illegal. Nobody is going to jail. But the story you were told, that the bank loses and you win, is backwards for most of the people holding one. You've been funding your own rewards. Now you know it. What you do with that is the part that actually matters. That's the honest version of the rewards game. Next time you tap, you'll see 4 parties at the counter, and you'll know which one is really paying.